everybody, this is Randy with Carchaeology, and I'm at it again for some strange reason. But I came across a car online last night that looked very interesting. In fact, I saw it the day before and I had forgotten about it when I was up at the Anza estate yesterday. But when I got home last night, I saw it and I started thinking about it, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I sent the seller a quick note to see if it was still available, and let's see if I end up coming home with an empty trailer or a full trailer. So this 1941 Cadillac has been sitting in this garage here since the 1970s. They just rolled it out, gave it a quick dust off, and I think I'm going to drag this one back to the lab. You never know what's hiding in the garages of suburbia. The lawnmower's going in the garage out back. California. It's amazing that cars like this are still out here in the California suburbs, waiting to be discovered. So the most recent pick has landed here at the lab, and fairly quickly we will pull it off the trailer and bring it on into the shop and start the preservation and revitalization of this car. It's a really nice all original machine. It's been sitting for a number of years. The engine does turn. I think there's a really good chance that we'll be able to get this thing up and running again and then polish it up within an inch of its life. It's not about restoration with an original car like this. It's about preservation. Let's bring the beauty back out of this big old car, make it look presentable, make it usable, and then bring it out there back into the world where people can enjoy it. So it's a 1941 Cadillac Model 62 Coupe. It has been a California car since new. It was sold new in Ontario, California, and it was located in Upland, California, which is just a few miles away. It's had 3 owners since new, the second owner actually being related to the third owner. So it's been in the same family since probably the early 60s. And the original owner who bought it in Ontario, apparently he traded it for a debt that he had accrued with the second owner's business, which was a drugstore. So you could say that it was, well, it was acquired through a drug deal, I guess. But it's a phenomenal original car. It has had a repaint on the outside, and it does have seat covers over the original upholstery. We might carefully peel those off and see if the original upholstery underneath it is actually in decent shape. But it does feel a little soft on the driver's side there, so I'm assuming that maybe it's a bit tore up. So depending on what we see when we take a peek underneath there, it might be something where we just clean up these seat covers and leave it as it is. It does have the original radio in it, which has the call letters up here from all the LA stations, which is another tip that it is an original California car, even though we know that's the case. But that's one of those little details that you don't often see. The interior glove box is there. We've got some cool old receipts that we'll be going through. There's some registration from 1974, and that was about the last time that it was on the road, somewhere in the 70s. But it's gonna be fun to go through this car, get it up and running again, learn a little bit about it, and more than anything, see it shine once again. Amazing body style, really cool. All the chrome trim is still here on this car, which is fantastic. The trim down the sides is all here. Running board trim is a little battered, but we might be able to do something with that. These cars were offered with fender skirts, and we might find a set of those to put on there, just because it's kind of a neat thing. The tail lights are here. It is missing the piece here that they call the jewel, but we've located some beautiful reproductions of that, so we'll be putting that back in. This side over here is where the gas door is underneath this. So that's kind of a neat little detail for a car of this age. Glass taillight lenses are all there. The license plate light is there. So sitting since 78, or at least that was the last registration. I think it was actually parked a little prior to that. So that's at least 42 years of sitting. And the owner said that he had not pulled it out of the garage since. So that's a long time sitting, but the engine does turn, and so that's very confidence inspiring. I think with these old things, normally if they turn, they will burn. So we'll definitely be posting a first start of this one. Some more great history in here, some of the old service stickers. Here are all from local shops, Upland, California, Larry Shell. We'll have to research that real close and see dates on here and mileage. It does show 35,000 miles on it, which is thought to be original. Again, super solid. All the proper stuff is here. That cool Cadillac trim plate. The rear seat also has a cover over it. Looks like we've got a few parts in the box here. Even the original carpet is there. We'll hopefully clean. Original headliner is in nice shape. The door panels are good. It looks like the armrest is missing, but I saw that in the box in the back seat. And all the right wheel covers are here with the Cadillac emblem. This is the same hubcap they used on LaSalle models as well, but with a different center emblem. A lot of 41 Cadillacs actually had a driving light in this space here. This has the little blocking trim, which is kind of interesting. And it looks like there's, this one's in there a little crooked, but we can figure that out. Hood emblem is all there, the lettering and stuff. Some definite fade to some of that original paint. We've got the, so here's the hood release here. The hood ornament lifts up. Hood. It's a beast. Oh, sorry about that. I had to use two hands for that. But in here is the original flathead V8. Now, this was what they call a monoblock design. So the crankcase and everything are all one piece. The exhaust is routed up over the top of the engine, which is something very unique. You don't see that very often. And it looks like all the original stuff is here. The proper air cleaner is present, original carburetor and such. Everything's there. And apparently it was running when it was parked in the garage. So that's a long time sitting, but with the engine turning, I think we'll be able to get it going again. The owner did state that last time he drove it back in the 70s that the water pump was weeping a little bit. And that was one of the reasons he parked it, because he knew that he needed to do something about that before it overheated on him. But the good side of that is he never let it overheat. So that engine should be decent inside. We'll go through it, change all the fluids, crank that engine over slowly with a little lubrication in there, and then see if we can get it to fire. And this is exactly the type of car that I love to take on here at Carchaeology. It's a nice original car with a neat history, neat story back behind it, and it's a very well-preserved original car underneath that layer of dust. This is a car that in my eyes should not be restored. It's all about preservation. Again, I'm going to try to get the beauty back out of this, get it back on the road, and see what we end up with. Maybe a dusty relic right now, but when it's done here at the shop, it should be something that will command some respect when you're out running and driving it. So anyway, please follow along with further chapters on this. I haven't given a good name for this one yet, so if you can think of an amazing name for a 41 Cadillac, let me know, and then we will so name it. And if you have any experience with a car similar to this, please chime in the comments. Be happy to keep the conversation going, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Please share these videos and subscribe if you haven't.